Hello, love bugs, and thank you for stopping by the channel. I don't know why I have this echo going on. Okay, is that better? Okay, so hi, I'm Danielle, Tax Craft Lady. Thank you for stopping by the channel. If it's your first time, blessings, thank you so much. If you're coming back for another go round, thank you also, and keep it up. For those of you that are new, please hit that like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss none of the good stuff I'm bringing to the table. Okay, so guys, I went through Hurricane Ian. I'm here on the Gulf Coast of Florida, and we recently got power back, but then we didn't have any internet service, and it was just all crazy. Tried to do stuff on your phone, certain areas you couldn't use your phone. It's really been a test of our trials. I want you guys all to please keep all those affected by Hurricane Ian in your prayers because people have lost everything. My daughter in particular had a tree go through her house on a power line, and it was a big hassle. It still is, but thank goodness no one was hurt in my family, physically hurt. But there were people that were. So blessings to them, and hopefully they get through this and know that we can rebuild and it will be okay. So today I have a lot of good information to bring to you guys. I also wanted to throw some numbers for assistance with Hurricane Ian. If you were affected in any way, there were some things that you can still do to get some type of help for you and your family, or even if you're a single person. I mean, there's people sleeping outside in Walmart parking lots and Target parking lots. We have linemen and volunteers with nowhere to sleep. They're sleeping in their cars and in parking lots because all the hotels are full with displaced families. So if you can help in any way, I'd reach out to Red Cross and different organizations that will take your donations or your help in any way. And there's all aspects of help that we need. They've got people handing out water and tents and food and all these things. So remember that. First thing, guys, I'd like to give you some information, some FEMA information. So, and there's sites set up in everyone's state that was affected. They have these FEMA assistance centers that are set up. They may be outside at a water center or somewhere, but if you look on your local news channel, they have listings of where you will find these places. And the FEMA website also lists places you can go to physically go and talk to someone. But if you cannot, I'll give you some phone numbers that you can use. And one thing I'll tell you is you will have to stay patient and consistent, because some of the lines you could be waiting for hours on the line. I know I've spent over 2 hours on hold with FEMA and then have gotten disconnected, or the call just was never picked up. I did get a tip today from a FEMA inspector. He told me start calling after 8 o'clock. So you might have an hour wait time, but someone's going to pick up. So that first number is, it's the FEMA helpline, and it's 1-800-621-FEMA. Those numbers are 1-800-621-3362. That's the FEMA helpline. You can also go to the FEMA website at FEMA.com or disasterassistance.gov, and that will take you into that FEMA website also. That was disasterassistance.gov. So remember that. Also, there's other resources that FEMA actually will refer you to. So just say if you're a business owner, or if you're self-employed, if you do anything out of your house, that's your self-employment, or if you're Uber Eats or Instacart, or do any of that driving, any of those type of things, DoorDash, you can go to the SBA's website That's the U.S. Small Business Administration. And they will give you another way to get some help. They are giving grants, they're giving loans, they're giving assistance for hurricane victims, people who were affected in any way by Hurricane Ian. And then sometimes FEMA refers you there when you do their application. But if you just go right there and do their application, they then will decide if they should be the ones to help you or if FEMA should be the one to help you. So don't miss out on contacting them. The U.S. Small Business Administration. So it has when it comes up, it says SBA Disaster Loan Program. And then there's different choices of things that will fit your specific situation on what you should apply for. So remember that. Also, under the listing, it'll say Home and Personal Property Disaster Loan Program or Business Disaster Loan Program. So you could take advantage of whichever one of those would fit your criteria. Also, in those applications, remember to write down your registration numbers or ID numbers that generates for you, because that's one of the first things they're going to ask you for, whether you call FEMA or the SBA. And it could be a little difficult if you don't have that, because then they got to try to find your information another way. So remember to write that down. Both of those sites also will have you verify your identity. So be sure you have your ID, whether it's a state ID or a license. You may have to take a selfie of yourself, and it usually connects you also by a phone number. So it says on there, you don't need to have a phone number in your name. I have not seen that go through without the phone number in your name, because like if you're on a family plan and you put your phone number in as verification, it's going to come up as the person who's the head of that family plan. So keep that in mind, which also may force you to have to make the call to FEMA or the SBA because you can't verify your identity. And I've had such trouble. I've looked in my camera, I've uploaded my license and different things. So it can be frustrating, but stay persistent, stay patient. You will get through. You will get through. There's also the aging services for Health and Human Services for those senior citizens and folks that need help. There's also a number that you can call. It's the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and they will help you. They'll connect you to aging services in your area or straight through from Washington who needs to help the person that you're trying to help or yourself. And that number is 1-800-677-1116. That's the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. That's for aging services. Again, that number is 1-800-677-1116. Not only that, with that number, a neighbor of mine was speaking about her sister who lives alone. And she lives in the Tampa area, and she was trying to find some resources for her to reach out to. So if you have any information that you could help those affected by, or someone you might know, or even if you post a number on your Facebook or IG or something, just putting the information out there. Trust me, it gets looked at and people really appreciate it. Now also in the Gulf Coast and throughout Florida, you find a lot of people with livestock and different things, agriculture and things that they're involved in. So there's numbers that they can call also to get help if they were affected by Hurricane Ian. Now it's the agriculture aid. It's the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, Farm Service Agency. That number is 202-720-2791. Or you can visit usda.gov. And the Farm Service Agency can provide emergency loans to farmers and ranchers operating and managing a farm or a ranch at the time of the disaster. These people who own any type of agriculture or farming are entitled and should reach out to the USDA to fill out an application and see if they can get some help. They have cost sharing grants, they have conservation programs, they have all different things. So if you have any kind of agriculture farm or any type of thing like that, there are numbers that you can call. I put up already the 202-720-2791 or the USDA.gov. Okay. There's also assistance from financial institutions. This is early withdrawal of time deposits without penalty may be permitted by banks that are members of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, Federal Reserve System, or the Federal Home Loan Bank Board. Contact your bank or financial institution, and I see, like with my bank, and I see plenty of other banks and credit cards, they're sending messages saying like your late fees will be waived or your due date is offset, things like that. So contact your bank and see what assistance you can get since you went through Hurricane Ian with your payments or things that may be due, or even just the regular monthly fees. So get on that right away, because those monthly fees or those late payment fees can add up, and you don't want that, especially if you're trying to raise your credit score. Also, one major thing, and I probably should have said this first, crisis counseling. Because let me tell you, when you go through a hurricane or a blizzard or any crazy weather event, it can be scary. I've heard people saying they have PTSD from the storm, from the hurricane, and I honestly believe it. Like, when you hear a thunderstorm now, you're wondering like what's going to happen, or you're more in tune to watching weather. Or now when they say there's a hurricane watch or warning, it's no games. You know you're going to be on point. So the crisis counseling definitely can help you get through this time or anything that you're going through here. And their number is 1-800-273-8255. And this connects you with the Nationwide Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Now, you may not be ready to commit suicide, but you may be overwhelmed and stressed. And you don't want things to follow on a downward spiral. So remember that number, crisis counseling. It's a nationwide suicide prevention hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Okay, we have another thing that's available. It's disaster unemployment assistance. Assistance to individuals who lost work due to the disaster, including self-employed, farmers, ranchers, and those not covered under standard unemployment insurance programs. Now, for more information, you would need to contact your local unemployment office. So look up the number in your local area, Google it, whatever, for the unemployment office, because that could be a big help. If you've got a bunch of credit with unemployment and things like that you haven't tapped into because you've been working or whatever it may be, you really need to tap into it now, because I'm sure it will help replace some of the stuff you lost or help you in any way to rebuild and do what you need to do. Disaster unemployment assistance. Also, the main number, if you want to make donations, if you want to help, if you need help, if you are the victim of the disaster, call the American Red Cross. They have so many resources locally for each town, each county. You may think, oh, they only help with this or only help with this. They have a network of people working with them. I mean, I've called and they've connected me with Catholic Charities and and human services and different private programs also that are helping people. So you can call the American Red Cross at 1-866 438 4636. That's 866 get info. Again, American Red Cross, 1-866 438 4636. Okay? So remember those important numbers, guys, because they will help. They will help, and they'll kind of help the frustration of everything that's going on and all that. So don't miss out on those. I'm going to be back with another video because I have a bunch of child tax credit stuff to tell you and stimulus information to tell you, because a lot of people still haven't gotten their stimulus. Well, guess what? Some people still haven't gotten their tax refunds over the last 2 years. So the IRS is really, they're really not standing up to their name. Most people think that the IRS is on top of everything, and they know this and they know that, and they're going to know this and they're going to know that, and people get scared. They're very behind, and they're very understaffed since COVID, and it's been a big mess. So I got another video that I'm going to start talking to you about all these credits and all these things that we got to get ready for, because guess what? Tax season will be here before you know it. And a lot of things that you want to try to pursue now, so when the tax season does come about, your information and everything is in the system, and you'll know how to move forward. Okay, guys? So let me get that information for you, and I'll be back with another video with that. Thanks again for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Drop me a comment if there's some questions you'd like me to answer of you, or even a concern. Please let me know, and I'll definitely answer you guys. Thank you. It's Danielle, Tax Craft Lady.